we're building up. We started out acknowledging that Hashem runs this world and divine providence, how He provides for all our needs, and our personal relationship we have with Hashem, and then collectively, and then how the whole universe fulfills the will of Hashem and singing His praise. And now this psalm speaks about the future, when the whole world, like an orchestra, when it reaches a crescendo, and at that time, Hallelukah, we're going to praise Hashem. Shiru Hashem, we're going to sing for Hashem. Shir Chadash, a new song. Why a new song? So Rashi says, because all the songs that were written until today cannot adequately express the song and the praise that we'd like to sing and praise Hashem. Because the miracles and wonders, Mashiach will be so wondrous that all the words and all the songs that were written, all the poetry, will feel completely inadequate. So we're going to have to sing a new song, come up with a new song. So first we're going to learn this verse, we're going to learn the psalm on the simple level, then we'll go a little deeper. Tilase Bekal Chasidim, is praise, will be recounted in the assembly of the pious. When Mashiach will come, we're all going to be Chasidim. Yismach Yisrael ba'osav. Israel will rejoice with its maker, which is Hashem. And we said elsewhere, Yismach Hashem b'maisav. Hashem, it says elsewhere in Psalm, Hashem rejoices with His creation, and we rejoice with our maker, with our creator. B'nei Tzion, the sons of Zion, Yagilu b'malkam, will delight in their king. Yahalulu shmoi b'mochel, they're going to praise His name by dancing with a dance. B'soif v'chiner yezamruloi, they will sing to Him with a drum, using two instruments, a drum and a harp. Even though you think a drum and a harp don't go together, because a drum is like harsh, a harp is very sweet, melodious, but they were going to sing to Him with a drum and a harp. Ki roitza Hashem bi'amai, Hashem desires. He desires His people, He loves His people, the Jewish people. We are His nation, His chosen nation. Yefoer anovim bishua. He will adorn the humble ones with His salvation. Yalzeh chasidim b'chaved, the pious will exult in glory. Yiranenu amishkavaisim, they will sing upon their beds. Reimim iskeil b'groinam, the exaltation of God is in their throats. V'cherev pifi is biyadim, and this will be a double-edged sword in their hands. Lasis nekama v'agoyim, to take revenge, retribution upon the nations. Teicheche is balumim, punishments upon the people. Lesam alcheim bezikim, to bind their kings with chains. V'nichbedeim v'chavli varzel, the nobles with iron fetters. Lasis ben mishpat kasuv, to execute upon them the prescribed judgment. Hadarul hasidav, this is a glory for all His pious ones. Hallelukah, praise is the Lord. Now, Shir Chadash, as the rabbis point out, that the reason why he uses the masculine, Shir Chadash, is in the masculine. Because in the past, all our songs, we had 9 songs. We find in the Tanakh, throughout our history, starting with the first song, when they crossed the Sea of Reeds, after the splitting of the sea. So it says, Hashira, they sang Hazois, they sang this song in the feminine. What's the difference between the feminine and the masculine? That the feminine represents when the woman gives birth, even though you're giving birth to something new, and it's exciting, but somewhat, the pain of birth, the pain of childbirth, of the labor pains, somewhat diminish some of that joy, because the pain is indescribable. Versus when the male, his part of giving birth, there's no pain at all. For him, it's all joy, it's all pleasure. So the rabbis say this is the difference. The first song we sang in our history, the first songs, yes, we praised Hashem for redemptions, but all of those redemptions were not complete redemptions, because they were followed by further exile. Mashiach will come, however, in the future. Shiru Hashem, we're going to sing, we will sing in the future. Mashiach will come, the redemption of Mashiach will be a total redemption. There will never be another exile. Not only will there never be another exile, there won't even be the opportunity to be another exile, because the entire world will be transformed. Human consciousness will be radically transformed, and everyone will become conscious of godliness of Hashem, and the world will forever become a moral, ethical, and spiritual, and wholesome, and genuine place. So that's why it refers to the song as in the male, the masculine, Shir Chodesh. But on a deeper level, what is a song? What is the idea of a song? A song, when you sing, you have different expressions of singing. A singing represents a longing, a yearning. You're trying to go beyond the ordinary, the mundane. You want to experience something special. You're trying to find the poetry in life, the beauty in life. You're yearning for something deeper, for love, for a connection. So you're yearning, you're singing. It's a longing. And then you go back. So it's you're singing, you're yearning, and then you go back. It's like a dance, back and forth. That's what we call Shira, a feminine song, where you're yearning, you're aspiring to go beyond yourself, you're aspiring to elevate yourself, to lift yourself up beyond the ordinary. Especially the youth today, they drown themselves in music. You want to get out of the ordinary, the mundane. You're yearning, you're looking for something a little deeper, to experience something, to experience a genuine feeling, or you're looking for an experience. And then you're back and forth between your regular, daily, normal self, and then you're yearning to experience something that's outside of your ordinary life. Some deep love, some intense love, some intense experience. But in the future, when Mashiach will come, when godliness will be totally transparent and manifest and palpable, you won't have that yearning. You won't be yearning for godliness. You're going to experience it all the time. It's going to be a self-evident, obvious. It's going to be a daily event. This will be the new norm, the new natural. Wherever you go, every waking moment, everything, you're going to be conscious and aware of godliness. You're going to feel godliness. You're going to sense godliness. It's only today, when we are like trapped in our ego minds and our ego consciousness, that we're yearning to go beyond our ego, to forget about ourselves, to have a real experience, and that's what song expresses, a yearning, a desire. You're trying to get beyond yourself. When Mashiach will come and godliness will be open and obvious, there won't be a need. You won't have that yearning. There won't be anything to yearn. What do you mean you're yearning for something outside of your experience? That will become your daily, normal experience, 24/7. So it will be a different type of song. Shiru Hashem Shechodesh is going to be a different type of song. What type of song? The song will be, it's like the heartbeat, like the beat of life. The beat of life is the pulse. You breathe in, you breathe out, which is like the soul expresses itself from the top down, and then the soul withdraws back to itself. And in order for the soul to make contact with the body, it's back and forth. The soul lowers itself and connects itself to the body, and then the soul wants to go back to itself. And that's what creates the connection between body and soul, the heartbeat, the pulse. It's that to and fro, back and forth. So it starts with the soul lowering itself and connecting with the body, and then the soul withdraws and goes back to itself. And then it goes back again. And this is the beat of life. This is the heartbeat of life. So it's not that you're yearning for something. It's not from the bottom up. It's from the top down. It's not that I'm yearning and I'm trying to escape. Song is a way of escaping the dreariness or the mundane and the ordinariness of my daily life. And I'm looking for something deeper and for something real and experience. That we're going to experience every moment, naturally, when Mashiach comes. But this is the very beat of life. The beat of life, it's pulsating. Life is pulsating. It's the higher connecting with the lower, and then it withdraws into itself, and then again, and then back and forth and back and forth. So it's a different type of song. Shiru Hashem Shechodesh, it's a different type of song than the song we're singing now. It's not like today we're yearning and we're desiring something that's beyond us. Godliness is beyond us, so we're yearning. It will be the exact opposite. Godliness will be so natural and real and palpable, but it will be a song that's the beat of life. That's the heartbeat of life. That's the pulse of life. Back and forth. So that's the new song. And why do we say it now, today, if this is something that we're going to only sing in the future? Because in a certain sense, when you're praying, at that moment of prayer, you may get a taste of the future. You can actualize this potential. Tilase, his praise will be in the congregation of Hasidim. If you live like a Chassid, like a pious one, and you learn Hasidus, and you're permeated with this idea that godliness is everywhere, and godliness is all around me, and it's within me, and it's all around me, and this world is pulsating, and this world is alive with the divine energy, and everything is truly godliness. So we can already get a taste of this new song, of this new reality. We can place ourselves in that position today. We can elevate ourselves to live on a higher level. And then the next verse, Yismach Yisrael ba'osav. The Jewish people will rejoice ba'osav, a very puzzling choice of words. Anyone here know Hebrew? Ba'osav means, in the plural, those who made me. What do you mean, those who made me? In the plural? Who made us? Hashem. Hashem is one. Hashem echad. There's only one God. What do you mean ba'osav? It's similar to what the Torah says. God says, let us make man. Naaseh Adam. Why do you say in the plural? But what he's referring to here is, because in the present state, Hashem created us seemingly, because we have two different dimensions to us. We have two different parts to us. We have our godly soul, which is purely godly, responds to godliness, only cares about godly things, loves godliness. But then we have our natural self, our body, our physical, our ego consciousness, which is the exact opposite. It responds to material things. It cares about money, power, fame, fun, external things. So it's almost as if we have two different sources. We have two different realities within us. We have a higher reality, our godly soul, which is superior to the angels, and then we have our earthly reality, which is lower than the animal. So it's almost as if we have multiple sources. Ba'osav. Two different sources, two different life forces, two different drives, motivations, motivational centers. But that's only today. And why did Hashem create us this way? And what do you mean we're rejoicing? Why are we rejoicing? What's there to rejoice? This is what makes life so difficult. It's such a conflict. This is what makes us miserable. We're not rejoicing in the fact that we're torn apart and we're ripped apart and half of us is angelic and half of us is a beast and we're pulled in two opposite directions. Why is there something to praise Hashem? Yismach, we rejoice. But we're rejoicing in Hashem's joy. Hashem created us this way for purpose, with a purpose. Intentionally, because there's nothing that gives Hashem more pleasure, as the Alter Rebbe writes in Tanya, chapter 33, and this is one of the 12 verses of Ma'amar Chazal the Rebbe chose for the children to learn and to memorize. Yismach Yisrael ba'osav Peter, shekol mishu mizera Yisrael, whoever is a Jew, yeshle l'smayach, he should rejoice b'simchas Hashem, in the joy of Hashem, asher sos v'sameach, who rejoices b'tirasi b'tachtenim. Hashem created this world in this way, intentionally, in such a way that there's conflict and there's tension and because nothing gives Hashem greater joy than when we find ourselves in this situation, this very, very trying situation, difficult situation, where godliness is hidden and godliness is concealed. And yet, we open our hearts and we open our minds and we become conscious of Hashem and we willingly choose Hashem and we become conscious of the truth of Hashem, that there is no other reality besides Hashem. We open ourselves up to Hashem. And especially in the time of exile, in a time where there's a multiplicity, we live in a pluralistic society where anything goes and everything goes. There's so much chaos, so much confusion, so much nonsense, so much concealment, so much darkness. And yet within this world, a Jew opens his heart, opens his mind, and chooses and has clarity and recognizes and acknowledges that Hashem, all there is Hashem, there's nothing besides Hashem, and we live our life accordingly. There's nothing that gives Hashem greater joy. That's the whole purpose of creation. Yismach Hashem, this is why Hashem rejoices with us. So we rejoice in Hashem's joy. We rejoice in the joy that Hashem receives, that in this dark world, in this chaotic world, confusing world, the Jew worships Hashem, serves Hashem, rejoices, connects with Hashem. But all of this confusion is only today, when Mashiach will come. When Mashiach will come, every part of us will be on the same page. All roads lead to Jerusalem. When Mashiach will come, even our ego consciousness, even our rational mind, even our natural self, even our animal soul, even our physical body will be on the same page as the godly soul, because we're going to see godliness. We're going to experience godliness. And it'll be the most natural thing in the world. There won't be anything otherworldly about it. It's going to be the most natural thing in the world. We're going to experience it and feel it and see it, and it'll be right there before us, in front of us. So there will no longer be any conflict, there will no longer be any tension, there will no longer be any psychological issues. So we're going to rejoice. Every part of us is going to rejoice in Hashem, equally. Yismach Yisrael ba'osav. There's seemingly different parts of us that seemingly have different sources and are opposites. When Mashiach will come, we're going to rejoice. Every part of us is going to rejoice in our Maker, in our Creator, in Hashem. Again, we're not just speaking about the future, although this is very relevant to us because we're literally a second away from this moment. But at any given moment, even this moment, a moment before this moment, we have the ability to really achieve this or get a glimpse of it, a taste of it. By praying and by understanding what we're praying and trying to get into it, we can experience, at least during prayer, at least for the moment, experience where every part of us is equally rejoices in our Maker and our Creator and feels connected. And Bnei Tzion, the sons of Zion, will rejoice with their King. It says Bnei Tzion refers to the souls that will be born after Mashiach's coming. They're of a different order of existence, of being, much greater than all the souls that exist now. They will be new souls. They will be souls that will, as he says, we're going to sing a new song. We're going to experience a whole new reality. The whole world will be completely new and transformed. So the sons of Zion, Bnei Tzion, those souls that will be born and come into being at that moment, they, especially Yagil b'Malkam, they're going to rejoice with their King. He says, Hallelujah shmoi v'machal. They're going to praise his name by dancing. It seems to be a little of a contradiction. A dance, a circle, is a symbol of infinity. There's no beginning, there's no middle, there's no end. So the dance represents the transcendent level of Hashem. Versus Shmoi, the name of Hashem, refers to something specific. We call Hashem and his name, when Hashem is like stern and powerful and mighty, we use the name Elokim. When Hashem is merciful and compassionate, we can use this name Hashem. When he's kind, we can use the name Kael. A name represents, you're describing something specific, something defined. Because Hashem encloses himself and creates each individual entity with its own specific, unique characteristic traits and personality, and every entity that exists has its own unique divine energy that creates and brings this entity, specific entity, unique entity into existence. That's what we refer to Hashem's name. So the name refers to something very specific, which is external, versus the name, Machal, the dance, represents something that's infinite, something that's transcendent. And yet he says when Mashiach will come, we're going to praise Hashem b'machal. Now, on the level where Hashem is infinite, Hashem's infinite level, where Hashem is transcendent, there's no room for any distortions or negativity. Everything is crystal clear. Where do you have a klipa, the klipa, which is a distortion? Where do you begin this distortion? How do you start distorting reality? That all begins once you turn your back to the machal. Once you're not exposed to this infinite light. Here you can already start distorting reality. For example, the Alter Rebbe gives an analogy. When a teacher, a master teacher, teaches, when the student is listening to his teacher, he's like completely nullified. This is like Einstein teaching. Some teacher is way beyond you. You'll study for 1,000 years, you'll never truly understand, reach the level of your teacher. He's just a different level. So when you're sitting in front of your teacher and you're listening and you're hearing what he says, you just silence your mind and you just listen and you absorb and you pay attention. and you stop thinking for yourself. You just completely put yourself aside and just listen with every fiber of your being, every bone of your arm, just listening and trying to take in these brilliant gems and words of wisdom that's coming out of my teacher's mouth. So at that moment, there's no room for distortion. It's pure. I'm listening to my teacher, whatever. I can probably repeat exactly what my teacher said. I'm not editing, I'm not critiquing, I'm just listening, and I'm completely nullified by these pearls of wisdom that's coming out of my teacher, and I'm just listening. So there's no room for any negativity. What's the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is, when the teacher goes away, now the students try to understand what their teacher said. They try to internalize it. So they review what the teacher said, they think it over, they discuss it again, many times, until it starts making sense to them, until they start in their own brain, in their own mind, they're able to understand and grasp what their teacher said. It's very hard work. Once they succeed, so their teacher taught them, they advanced, their teacher taught them something that they found very interesting and fascinating, and it helped them advance and grow. Again, that's all positive. The only place where they could be a place of mischief or distortions is in between. When the teacher is teaching, I'm completely nullified before the teacher. But then, instead of trying to make sense, instead of trying to break it down and internalize, I turn away from the teacher and then I distort what the teacher said. I misunderstood what the teacher said. They say a little knowledge is very dangerous. You heard something brilliant, but you never truly internalized it, you never truly understood it, and suddenly you're distorting it and you're taking it the wrong way and you're learning all the wrong lessons. Like right in the beginning of Ethics of Our Fathers, one of the greatest rabbis, Antignos Yisochai, he was one of those who transmitted the entire Torah single-handedly from the previous generation to the next generation. And he taught in Ethics of Our Fathers, you should serve God without any thought of a reward, without any ulterior motive. Now, two of his students, Tzaddik or Baises, they took it the wrong way. And they became heretical. They said, our teacher is saying that there's no reward for good deeds. Why is he telling us do mitzvot without any thought of any reward? Because there is no reward. The whole thing is a lie. It says in the Torah, if you're going to do the right thing, God will reward you. It's nonsense. So he's telling you, just do it and don't think about reward. They completely misunderstood what the teacher said. Of course, the teacher did not say there's no reward. Of course, there is a reward. It's one of the 13 principles of faith. And there's reward and punishment. All he was saying is that don't worship God for any ulterior motive. You should worship God for a pure motivation. But so that's where between the first step and between the third step of them internalizing it, the moment that teacher walked away, they were either too lazy or they didn't want to, or didn't interpret it, or didn't bother to try to understand it properly. And they immediately took these words and distorted it, and these words became poison, and it became a whole philosophy of denying the Torah, denying the oral Torah, and just living for the moment and having fun, because what's the point anyway? There's no reward, there's no punishment, nothing matters, it doesn't make any difference. And they took it completely the wrong way. So he said, so this discrepancy between the dance represents when you're right in front of the teacher. At that moment, the light is so brilliant, there's no room for any distortions. The teacher is teaching, and he's pouring out his wisdom. There's no room for any distortions. The students are completely sitting with their mouths wide open. They're completely egoless and nullified and absorbing and listening. They're not thinking, critiquing. They're just listening. There's no room for any confusion. There's no room for klippa. There's no room for the shell, for the distortions. Then the teacher walks away. So either you could do the hard work, and then try to internalize it and understand it correctly, or you take it and you take it the wrong way and you misunderstand it and you misquote, and that creates all of these distortions. So all of that is only possible today, before Mashiach comes. Once Mashiach comes, he says, then Yahalelu Shmoi v'Machal, there will no longer be any distortions. There will no longer be any klippa. Everything will be crystal clear. Everything will be, and we're going to completely internalize it. So there won't be any space, there won't be any room between the machal, the dance, the infinite revelation of Hashem, and the shmoi, the name, which is the internalization of it. It will be seamless. This transcendent, godly revelation will be able to completely absorb it and internalize it, and it'll be the most natural thing in the world. See, when you hear something from your teacher, you hear something that's brilliant, even if you repeat it, but if you have a sense, it's not me. So either it can inspire you, it's like something otherworldly, it's like something from a different dimension. It can inspire you, or it can turn you off. You can think to yourself, hey, it's not really me. Why am I pretending? It's a level that's beyond me, so it's not for me. But the ultimate, when Mashiach will come, the ultimate is when the mind of the student starts thinking like the mind of his teacher. That it feels completely natural to you. That your mind grasps and your mind understands in the most natural way, understands exactly what the teacher is saying. It's not only I'm smart, so I'm able to repeat something, but I sense, it's really beyond me, but I'm just repeating something that I heard, something brilliant. No, but this becomes you. You own it. It becomes natural. You start thinking this way. You start grasping things this way, and then you own it. Once it becomes totally natural, and your mind starts perceiving things, and your mind starts understanding things exactly the way the teacher understands things. From the teacher's perspective, then it's seamless. There's no separation between the teacher and the student. It's seamless. There's no room for any distortions. This is the world of Mashiach. That's what he's saying. Hallelujah, Shemoi v'machal. When Mashiach will come, we're going to praise Shemoi. We're going to internalize b'machal. There won't be any. It'll be seamless between the machal, the infinite, Hashem's infinite revelation, and Shemoi, Hashem's manifestation, internalizing in our mind, in our brain. We're going to be on the same page. We will understand, and we will appreciate the infinite, and we'll understand it, and it'll be me. I'll own it. So there's no room for any klipa, there's no room for distortion, there's no room for any negativity. That's why it's going to be all good. When Mashiach will come, the world will be all good.